That, however, shouldn't be a problem for Dunfermline, not when you have goal scorers throughout the team, as Brian Reid demonstrated. The big defender on his return to Scottish football showed fine skill with a controlled shot. 2-0 Dunfermline. Down to 10 men, there was simply no way back for the visitors, and it was soon 3-0. Stuart Petrie to David Graham to Scott Thompson. It looks all too easy for the home side now, with huge gaps in that Calais defence. Petrie completed a good day for him with goal number 4. Scott Thompson once again involved on the left. Petrie in space, and his finish finds the net. The goalkeeper might feel he should have stopped it, but it's a good start for Dick Campbell's men.
Before half-time though, the Pars were back in the lead. And if you have time, nip out to the chemist and get some seasickness tablets. It's shooty in for a while. Scott Thompson first off the post, Andy Smith's shot saved, and Owen Coyle with the ball in the back of the net. Keep an eye on the 2 players over the ball at the free kick. A quick run around as Smith makes his run, and Dunfermline are 2 goals up. Both of those goals coming in the second 45 minutes.
That was a cause taken up by Owen Coyle. A long ball and a nudge on is all he requires. And how about this for a finish? Well, Owen, you must have been watching last week when I gave few marks to Andy Smith for artistic merit. It's 6s across the board for this one. A good start for Dunfermline, and the fans certainly voicing their approval. And there was more for them to cheer straight from kick-off. Again, a long ball and confusion in air defence, as Neil Duffy is clearly looking for his goalkeeper to come for the pass. Coyle has no other thought than making them pay. The Fife club were relegated because they failed to win enough games in the Premier. And now in the First Division, they've made a habit of throwing away winning situations. It was no different at Inverness. On loan Chelsea striker Stephen Hampshire on hand to ram the ball home after a couple of deflections. At that stage, the Pars deserved some reward, and they got it. Stevie Crawford on the run, and when the ball runs loose, David Moss hits the equaliser. Crawford looking to go all the way himself, but Moss makes a tough chance look easy.
And after the free kick was retaken, Justin Skinner floated it right in for David Moss to put the Pars 1 ahead. That's what David Moss is there for. Perfectly flighted free kick. 1-0 Dunfermline. It took the Pars half an hour to open the scoring. Owen Coyle setting up Stevie Crawford. He jinks to the right, and an excellent right foot shot behind Clydebank keeper Colin Scott. Coyle the creator. Crawford makes space for himself, looking for options. Eventually cuts inside and finds Owen Coyle. Quick turn from him. The cross comes in, and there's Stuart Petrie to put Dunfermline 2-0 ahead. Coyle the creator for the second time in the match. Little shimmy from the veteran striker. 2-0 Dunfermline. Dunfermline it was who took the lead in 24 minutes. Crawford playing the ball into Coyle. 1-0 Dunfermline. The Pars hitman making no mistake with that effort. Crawford with the touch. Coyle controls it on his chest, and a right foot shot past Ali Maxwell. Well, Dunfermline went 2 up thanks to David Moss. The header from him, the defender can't stop it on the line. Heads and hands all round, and Dunfermline 2 goals ahead. Moss the scorer. Corner coming in from Petrie. Moss gets his head to it, and oh dear, that Morton defence. Dunfermline rounded off a good afternoon's work with a 3rd goal. On loan Stevie Crawford going past the defence, left foot shot, low pass Maxwell. He's happy, the Pars are happy.
It certainly looked that way until the 90th minute, that is. Andy Todd with the header, and there's relief all round at East End Park as Dunfermline pick up a crucial victory. They're just 3 points now behind St Mirren. Manager Jimmy Calderwood claimed Christmas had come early. first goal was laid on a plate, Chris McGroarty to Steve Hampshire, and for the second week in a row, he couldn't miss. Red faces in the air defence, the redhead is clear, and Hampshire with acres. Ian Ferguson said after his debut last week he would make more of an impression as his match fitness improved, and he was as good as his word. It's his pass to Jason Dare that starts the move, and when the ball eventually works its way back to Ferguson, he responds with one of his famous pile drivers. Certainly Ferguson and all the Dunfermline supporters want to see more of this.
Away by Petrie. There's Hughes and Matthias Jack under pressure. Gives it away now. David Graham, the easiest of tasks, to slot that ball home for an equaliser after 32 minutes. Well, what a gift from Matthias Jack. He knows it. David Graham back in the side this afternoon. Really soaked up the chance. Matthias Jack short with a pass back for Nick Colgan, and well, David Graham just accepted it and slotted it away for his second goal of the season. Dunfermline back on level terms. It looked like an easy mop-up for Jack, but he made a right hash of it, and Graham delivered the goods for Dunfermline.
But it was too good to last for the bottom club. David Moss involved again. There's time for Lee Bullen to pick his spot for a debut goal. Certainly it's a good strike, but I don't think Scott can quite believe it. When Dunfermline did take the lead, there were gaps throughout the Clydebank defence. David Graham has room on the right, and when Stevie Crawford scores, Scott has every right to ask why there was no defensive cover. A double celebration for Crawford, who this week signed until the end of the season, and he underlined his value to the East End Park side by providing the icing in the final minute. As they win a corner with less than 2 minutes on the clock, it was perfectly delivered for the head of Bullen. Perhaps we should call him Lee Bullet. There's no doubt where this ball is heading. Airdrie had played well enough in the first half without threatening, but they went further behind 5 minutes into the second. It's an unlikely goal from Stephen Potter, but one the Dunfermline players and fans certainly welcomed. Not really a shot from the big defender, but perfectly placed to beat Scott Thompson. The first goal was always going to be important, and the Falkirk defence should have known better. Former player David Moss with a trademark far post header to put the Pars one up. But Dunfermline in no mood to let chances go a-begging, and certainly not Owen Coyle, who's forced his way back into the first team. Neil Alexander won't want to see this again. Coyle's 13th of the season, unlucky for the keeper. But while Coyle is used to scoring goals, Eddie May not so, but he does really well here and scores a beauty for his first this season. It meant Livingston were still in the game and still some work for the Pars to do to secure the points. But Stuart Petrie with a good run and a good finish from Stevie Crawford made it 3-1, and that, it would seem, was that, the points in the bag. There was to be some icing on this particular cake. It came from Lee Bullen, who came off the bench, and the Bullet responding in spectacular fashion. 4-1 Dunfermline, the Pars looking up, Livy likely to stay down.
The Pars are now only 5 points adrift of leaders St Mirren, thanks to 2 goals scored within 2 minutes of each other. The first came there from Stevie Crawford after 56 minutes, and Lee Bullen doubled their lead as he managed to finish off Eddie May's cross. Dunfermline have 4 games left to play and are well placed as they try and bounce back up into the FPL.
But the goal did come for the Pars, Stuart Petrie and David Graham combining, the relief and joy tempered by the fact that St Mirren were by then 3-0 ahead, but Dunfermline also heading for the top flights.